All right. I hope this video finds you well if you're able to join me live or if you're going to watch this on the replay. But this is a very important lesson in life and especially in business, right? On this social media platform and all the other social media platforms, it appears as if everybody is crushing it. And so when some people begin to do live videos or to put a product out or to do a Zoom live meeting or a go-to webinar live meeting or a live webinar, etc., some people get disappointed that there's only 10 registrants and only 2 people show up. And sometimes there's 5 registrants and 0 people show up. So here's the key that I'll circle back to the Sheryl Crow strategy here in a second, but I first have a very funny story. So back in 2004, I was doing a regular weekly teleseminar interview with experts, and I did it consistently for a long time and built up. You know, there would be 40 plus people on the weekly call, but then I stopped. And that's the big no-no. Consistency wins. There's a quote from one of my early mentors, Mike Littman, says, "You're either consistent or non-existent." And so I was consistent, and with the consistency, started off with nothing, and then people started to grow. But then when I stopped, it just disappeared. So funny enough, I start going to live events, January 2005. And I go to a live event, and it's an amazing one, Unleash Your Marketing Genius. And one of the speakers there was Alex Mondosian. And I was like, "Hey, Alex, I do a weekly interview with experts. I'd love to have you as a guest." And needless to say, I didn't tell him that I used to do the interviews and I'm going to restart it. And he was my first restarting one. And so I emailed my small list and, you know, whatever was available to try to get people on the line. And I dialed the teleseminar number. Alex was there on time. I was there on time. And I made the funny move of pressing whatever the 2-button combination was, *6 or star whatever, to tell how many people were on the line. And here's the funniest part. There are now 3 people on the line. And here's where it gets even better. So 3 people, myself, Alex Mondosian, and 1 other person. And you're gonna love this. So funny enough, one of the people that I also met at that January event in 2005 was a gentleman by the name of Mike Filsame. And Mike wasn't known that well in the internet marketing space. Actually, he still was working at the car dealership at that particular time in January 05. And had some great success, but no one really knew who he was. So he was one of the few people that we exchanged cards, and I emailed him that I'm interviewing Alex Mondosian, and guess what? He wanted to gain the value, so he was there. So me, Alex Mondosian, and Mike Filsame as the only guest on the line. That was in January 05. Fast forward, Mike and I meet again at a live event in March of 05, and we have fun. We get to be close friends, and then we kind of help each other out through the remainder of 2005, and then we teamed up in early 2006. And the bottom line is, circling back to the Sheryl Crow strategy, what I did, and that's funny story, and funny, but think I was sweating when I'm like, crap, now Alex hears there's only 3 people on the line. I heard, and then whoever the guest is knew there was only 3 people on the line. And I'm like, crap. But Alex gave massive value, and we rocked it, and that planted seeds to where Mike and I ended up partnering up in 2006 to 2011, and we're fortunate enough to do numerous $1 million product launches together and produce some great results. And those were some seeds that were planted of value way back when that teleseminar began. So wherever you are at this point, don't get caught up on how many people register, how many people show. The Sheryl Crow strategy and system is this. Sheryl Crow says one of the keys to her success was when she would throw a gig at a bar, the only guests that would be there were her friends and family. Like there would be maybe, just a couple people there in the audience, but guess what? Here was the key. She said, regardless if there was no one there, 1 person there, 5 people there, 10 people there, 100 people there, or a full house, we gave it our all. And so think about this. This means exactly what the statement that led you here to was. Detach from the outcome while you do what you know is yours to do. You schedule the date, you put the energy out there, the proper steps out there to get people's attention and have them have capability to register, and you're going to get however many that is. 0, 5, 10, 20, 50, whatever that number is, then you do your best to get those people on the live event. And whether there's 0, and here's the other key part. I've done some back in the day when there were a few registrants and 0 people showed. Guess what I did? I still did it. And I followed the Sheryl Crow system. I did it as if people were there and this was going to impact their lives. I gave my all. Just like Sheryl Crow and the band would rock the house, even if no one was in the audience, that was a time for them to practice for the real deal. So even if you put the energy out there and there's only a few registrations and there's no one live, you still give it your all and you still give a performance as if it was a packed house. That's called rehearsal. That's called practice. That's going to make you better. That's going to sharpen your saw so that the next time when you do it and there's a few more registrants and actually people show up, you've already done it a couple times. So it's rehearsal and you detach from the outcome. And you know that what you have to share is of value. And these people's lives who are fortunate enough to cross paths with the personality, experience, and perspective that you bring, sharing the wisdom that you bring uniquely to them, they wouldn't be there if it wasn't of interest to them. So by them choosing to be there, you have some insights that can help them get from where they are to where they want to be. So do what is yours to do regardless of any preconceived outcomes. Well, there needs to be this many registrants. There needs to be this many show-ups. Guess what's going to be? There's going to be exactly the number of registrations that there's going to be. There's going to be exactly the number of show-ups there's going to be. And regardless, if it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 or more, you rock the house as if it's a full house. You rock the house because those 3, 4, 5 people, even 0, if there's 0, that's your chance to give a rehearsal. That's your chance to hone your skills. If there's 1, that one person has given their most precious asset of time to be there. It's up to you to deliver it as if it's a full house. Rock their world and watch how when you detach from the outcomes and you just do what's yours to do, it's the law of sowing and reaping. As you sow, so shall you reap. When you give that value, you're going to be reaping the results. And just like Sheryl Crow says, like we did that time and time again, hundreds of concerts when there was no one in the audience except it was a personal friend or family member that showed up just to support them. And that led to them practicing their skill, honing and refining their ability to overcome challenges and obstacles that obviously occur during live presentations, whether you're a band or whether you're someone just sharing information on online streaming services. There's going to be challenges. You're going to be able to improvise, adapt, and overcome. You're going to hone your skills. You're going to get better at your craft of delivering that message. So keep this in mind. Do what's yours to do. Put the proper energy and effort into making it as enticing as possible, getting their attention, interest, desire, and having them register for this event. Doing all that you can between them registering and the actual live event to show up, to mark their calendars, to recognize, to reiterate why it's important for them to be there. And once they're there, lock them in with that big promise. Lock them in with the value that they're going to receive, and do all that you can to keep them on. At the end, you're going to receive these free gifts valued at such and such. So stick around and present as if it's a full packed house. And watch how when you detach from the outcomes, and to include sales, like the sales are going to be exactly what they're going to be. Guess what? In the beginning, generally, not to say this could be you, but many times, you don't win right off the bat. You're going to have 0 sales. And sometimes you'll get better and learn, I know what I did, I'm going to test it differently next time. And then you get a few, and then you get more, and then you get more. Guess what? None of us begin at the expert level. We go from novice to intermediate to expert, then to pro. All right, so regardless of where you are on that spectrum, give your all. Do what's yours to do, detach from the outcome, and know that it's going to be exactly what it was meant to be. So if you enjoy this type of stuff, I do have a free app with massive value waiting for you, my way of paying it forward at thesimplifier.com. It's a membership app, so when you register for free at thesimplifier.com, you'll be emailed your unique password to get in and access all the free gifts that are waiting for you. Massive value. I hope this was of massive value to you as well. Keep on rocking it. Do what's yours to do. Detach from the outcome. Chat with you soon. Make today great.